The numbers are pretty eye-watering in terms of the scale of the drop that we are seeing. How is this affecting the believers, the people that actually trade this stuff, hold this stuff? Is there a shift in sentiment as a result of the drop that we are seeing? Presumably, a lot of people are being shaken out by this.
Right. There's a bloodbath, there's a washout, but I think you'll see a lot of tourist capital, if it hasn't already left, it will be leaving now.
Right.
But Bitcoin has an ideological component to it that most traditional asset classes don't, i.e. there are these true believers, the hodlers, and those guys by very nature are looking to hold for the long term and maybe even see now as an opportunity to even top up their holdings.
Alastair, what's driving the move? Is it fear of regulation? Is it something else? What happened in the last 2 weeks or so that all of a sudden moved sentiment a lot more negative?
Right, well, we're coming off the back of a couple of weeks of actually relative calm, which is somewhat unusual for Bitcoin. It was sort of trading around $6,000 for a couple of weeks. And all of a sudden, it's totally fallen out of bed and it just can't seem to get up on its feet again. What's triggered that really is a couple of things. Yes, regulation. In the US, we've seen the SEC come out and kind of have some civil action against 2 ICO companies saying that the tokens that they raise should be classified as securities, which kind of sounds like an arcane thing, but really it suggests that perhaps cryptocurrencies should be regulated under the same stringent requirements that you have for traditional assets like stocks and bonds. And then also our colleagues this week in the US were reporting that the Justice Department is looking into market manipulation around crypto. So these are kind of big black clouds over the market. That plus you've had the bickering and infighting over Bitcoin Cash, which is one of the largest cryptocurrencies, which recently had a fork. And that's kind of rather, I guess, embarrassing, left a sour taste in the mouth. It just highlighted once again how immature this market is.
One of the factors that made it slightly more mature was the fact that it does now have a futures market attached to it. Right. What is that futures market telling us about the direction of travel? Well,
the futures market has grown a lot. It's grown about 400% in the last year or so, but really it's grown from, well, nothing, obviously,
yep.
And it's still pretty small. It's quite a nascent market, and, you know, really, we're kind of at a stage where it really will take probably the only thing that will move the needle in a significant way in terms of upward momentum will be the institutions coming into the market, like large institutional investors coming into the crypto space. And the only way that that can happen is going back to the point of regulation, if we have a positive regulatory environment for crypto assets, and currently we don't have that. So most people, both the believers and the skeptics, say that there's more pain to come. We'll be having this conversation again with Bitcoin at 2,500 perhaps, or some lower level. That's not a prediction, they're just saying that's the direction of travel, most people would say.